Good morning, mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers, sisters, mothers, misters, and to all my cousins out there around the world, in Twitchlandia, on YouTube, and everywhere else in between. It's time to break down the news. It's time to plug in, so let's get this news train chugging. Yeah, there's a massive fire in San Diego. A U.S. battleship in harbor caught on fire, and predictably, it was difficult to put out because, well, ships carry things that burn a lot. Firepower. When we're talking about firepower, we're talking about the ability to shoot things, yeah? And so, one ship could limit U.S. firepower in the Pacific? I don't know. Firepower is how much the caliber, we talk about the caliber of someone's character, the caliber of the individual. Technically, the caliber is the diameter of the barrel of a gun, so you know how big the bullets or shells in which to put it and shoot it. Let's just move on to the caption here. Because the Bonhomme Richard, it burned in San Diego Harbor last week, and it's interesting because it's a boat and it's in the sea, and so therefore, anytime there's a disturbance in the water, it creates ripples that then move outwards, ripple outward from that disturbance. Like if you throw a stone, a pebble into some nice calm water, it will create that ripple effect. You see those motivational posters in which a drop is going down and then it kind of bounces back up and the ripples are starting, because like the butterfly effect or any action that we take has effects, and the actions that we take affect others, and then that can affect them, and it just ripples outwards like the concentric circles of a drop dropped into water. Not only did the ship burning create physical ripples within the water and across the sea, apparently it's rippling around the Pacific, and it'll be felt all the way to Asia. And so these after effects, maybe they're alluding to the fact that it shows some vulnerability of the US Navy. I'm not really sure. But as tensions are rising, things are getting hot in the South Pacific and the Sea of Japan around contested islands and other ones that China's building. Yeah, all eyes on naval security and protecting shipping ways, etc., in the Pacific and the little parts thereof. We're going to have a ripple effect, and this is going to echo and reverberate all around the world, not just physical ripples. Moving on. And so yes, more naval news. The U.S. Navy aircraft carriers resume. They're going to start again rare dual exercises in the South China Sea. Yes, they're going to resume them. To resume something means to start again, to pick it up, because, well, when you're using something, you're holding it in your hands and doing it, then you can set it aside, you can shelve it up on the shelf, you can table it, you can just set it aside, but then you pick it up again and you resume what you were doing. And so, nice little phrasal verbs. And so let's pick up with this explanation here. Rare, not very common, but rare, not common. Doesn't happen very often. Dual meaning two, like a duo, the dynamic duo, Batman and Robin working together to fight crime. Multiple carriers are doing this exercise together, practicing, playing war games, and I don't like that because it just is further indicative that tensions are rising, are mounting, and the prospect of some sort of conflict is looming on the horizon. So just keep using and reusing and recycling those vocabulary bits and pieces. Who knows? It could be anything. Could be anything. There's gremlins in the pipes. All right. And sticking with the theme for this opening paragraph, the Navy staging challenges. To stage something means to perform something, yeah? Because all of life is a theater, and we're only actors upon a stage. But here, to use it as a verb, to stage something, we stage competitions, we stage challenges, we stage races, we stage many, and it just means to perform something, to put on a spectacle for the spectators, yeah? And so they're staging back-to-back challenges on the South China Sea claims. That dual exercises here and there, they're performing it in back-to-back, though. That's what I really wanted to highlight here. Back-to-back, I mean, it's kind of weird back-to-back because we'd be facing different directions. However, back-to-back just means consecutive, one after another, in a row. And so You do one, then you do another, then you do another, then you do another. My stream is going absolutely insane. But back to back, one after another, consecutive in a row, just like we explained these headlines, back to back to back, one after another. Well, at least the highlighted ones. How Lewis befriended a young boy and changed his life forever. I don't know who Lewis is, and I don't know how lives were changed or anything else, but to befriend someone means to make friends with them, and that's one of those collocations with make or do. In English, you often don't know, is it make, is it do, is it make, is it do, but we make friends because it's something, a friendship cannot just be done. It's something that's created out of nothing. It requires a little bit of food and a little bit of water. You have to nurture it so that it grows and blossoms into the beautiful thing that is a friendship. And so yes, but to befriend means to make friends, to become friends. And see, I don't like that term, to become friends. It's not something that just happens. It requires active participation and nurturing the relationship. All right, scary news. Son of a federal judge was or has been killed after gunmen opened fire at her home. Her home, it was a son, so I'm guessing the her was the judge, using the linguistic clues that we have here. That's absolutely crazy because this is not a country in which those things normally happen. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying when people trying to affect the legal system and so on. Murders of judges and judges' children, that sounds like some 1980s Escobar stuff. Not good, but the point being, I guess, was a reduced passive. As a simple-minded American folk, I would say was killed because it was a one-time event, one and done. However, if you were British or you wanted to stress the fact that the situation is still true, has been killed because it was recently, and well, the person is still dead. And so the effect of the action continues to the present moment. And so that's why often people use the present perfect with things like killed, because, well, the effects are permanent. Let's move on. Some group wants to bring down China's Communist Party. To bring it down, they want to topple it, to pull it over, to destabilize it. And so therefore they're trying to undermine it and trying to accentuate some of the underlying problems that exist within their political system and to bring it crumbling down. Yes, they want it to collapse. They want it to stop functioning. And so to bring something down means to have a detrimental effect on it, a negative effect on it, to the point that it ceases or stops to function and then needs to be replaced by, maybe something less totalitarian. I don't know, haven't read it. If you read it, let me know. I'd be happy to hear what you have to say. Oh, now what have I done? Oh my goodness gracious. That's what you get for trying to play with things whilst streaming, Mr. Janes. That seems like a foolish endeavor. Okay, either way. Here we go, a petition. I forgot to highlight that. A petition is one of those civilian sort of activist things where they go around and they collect signatures. You see Greenpeace and other sort of NGOs or charitable organizations that are trying to protect the rainforest or stop testing products on animals, etc., collecting signatures to help try and persuade companies or governments to take a particular action. Yeah, and so because if you collect signatures, that means that is the voice, the direct voice of the people. And so they're calling on Trader Joe's to change its racist packaging. To call on somebody, much like a teacher, and say, yes, Stephen, do you have the answer to number 4, please? Yeah, great, thank you. It means to basically choose or select somebody, but especially when we're doing it in public, we're requesting them to do something, not answer question number 4, but to change their packaging. And because they had Trader Joe's and Trader Pablo and they're using different ethnic names on the packaging for the different ethnic types of foods. And so that has offended some people. I can understand why, but at the same time, we've got bigger problems in society. So let's move on. Yes, and now they're finding more and more after effects, small strokes, heart damage, heart disease. Some of the symptoms, even after you have kicked the virus out and you have gotten better, you've recuperated, some of those symptoms linger for many years or many people. I'm going to guess many people. For many people, those symptoms continue. Yeah, you have neurological disorders, heart problems, respiratory problems, joint pain even, which I've read, which is interesting. To linger means that it won't go away. It stays, whatever it is, longer than expected. Yeah, even after you clean something up, the smell in the room might linger for a while. People, after the end of a party, they tend to linger around until you forcibly have to ask them to leave your house, so that way you can clean up and go to sleep. Or if you're smart, you employ them in the cleaning process to facilitate an easier morning for yourself. But to linger, to stay or to remain longer than desired or expected. All right, and so even after these people heal, they're still suffering. Bummer. All right, this is just a simple grammatical one. I'm not getting into the actual content, but too adjective, too do something, too weak to go, too big to fail, thinking about the banks and the bailout in 2008. Just go on without me. Save yourselves. Yeah, too weak to carry on. But yes, they're too weak to go something, to go where, or go what? To go full Trump. And so I've got this highlighted here, to go full something, to go full on crazy, to go full Trump. Often, especially if we're going to use it with an adjective, to go full on insane, to go full on crazy, to go full on berserker. They need China. We all do in ways. It's a shame, but that's life. We're all inextricably linked together at this point in time due to globalization, and anyone thinks that they can go on by themselves completely, solely, and independently is a foolish puppet of some false populist regime. Sorry, that's just my little 2 cents there. Turns out she walked home to her previous home in Missouri. 57 miles. That's like 80 kilometers or something. Crossed a river, either swam it or then across a very busy bridge, but walked home and was found on the porch of her former home, and so maybe got lost and just went home. Don't know. Interesting. Kind of crazy. Heartwarming story. A little bit of news that we need on a Monday morning in a weird world like this. Okay, but it turns out to finish or conclude in a particular sort of way, and often in a surprising way. And so this dog walked 57 miles from one state to another across a river and everything, and found the original home despite being a dog. Most people couldn't do that even with an iPhone. So that's pretty surprising. That's about it. Yes, dogs are amazing. Yeah, you can see a little video of the dog being reunited with its owners after 4 days off by itself, and yes, that's heartwarming right there. All right, here's one that I highlighted because to monitor means to watch or to look at. Just like you use the little monitor for your computer to watch what is going on inside your computer. It allows you to do things. Now, please use drones to monitor beach nudity. Does that mean they're enforcing the laws? Or does that mean they're just perving out on naked sunbathers? I don't know. I find it comical. If you read it, let me know. Here's some very important news. Cutlery. Cutlery are the utensils which you use to eat your food. Yes, typically fork, knife, spoon, because you use it to cut things, yeah? Or you could say utensils, table settings, I don't know. But cutlery is the words for what we often refer to as silverware, even if it's made with plastic. Yeah, not too many people have actual silverware nowadays. But hey, thanks for the tips, Denyak. Appreciate it. A bit for Cameron. To collide is to crash into one another. A collision. They have come together, they have coalesced, they have intersected, but in a fairly violent fashion. Much like when two cars collide, damage is done. And so yes, tough year for Black Americans. To collide, a collision. Yeah, that's it. Moving on. I don't know. But to bash, it means to hit in a violent way. He was bashed on the head with a shovel or some large heavy object to hit hard and do damage. Or to criticize very strongly. To bash, to slam, etc. Lots of violent words for strong criticism that we see here in the headlines. Okie dokie, time is running out for travelers hoping to experience a 747 flight I don't know why they'd be hoping to, because it's just a plane, but bigger. Either way, time is running out. Soon there will be no more left. The time is going away, decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. Soon there'll be no time left. Time is running out for all of Earth in different ways. Okay. Here we've got another race. We've had arms races and other races and election races. Now we've got a clean energy race. People are competing to be number one, to be the cleanest of the makers of energy. And America is trailing. If you are trailing, it means that you are not in the lead. The leader, the person who is in first place, and if you are trailing, often with the word behind, to trail behind, it means you're trying to catch up, to catch the other person. And it's because we have poor governance that has stopped investing in technologies like clean energy. We are following, we are trailing behind other countries. Some nice language here. Biden outlines a roadmap for reopening schools safely. Let's just go here. A roadmap for something, much like a blueprint for something or a recipe for something, it is some sort of plan, just like a map of the roads shows you where and how to go. It serves as a guide. It's a physical, visual representation of how to do things. It's a plan, let's say, but it's a nice way, visual way of saying plan, to diversify your vocabulary and to outline. And he's not laying out a concrete plan piece by piece, making it easy for you to understand. He's just making a rough sketch, just the outlines. Yeah, just like a silhouette or a profile, some general ideas, and we can fill in all the colors and details later. It's a skeletal sort of plan, just like the bones, and we can flesh it out and put meat on them bones later, all the details and all the beautiful, beautiful extra features that go along with that skeleton. Yeah. And so, it's a general idea. Who knows how that will go moving forward. Zdeněk, thanks for tuning in. Much love, much appreciated. For English Otherwise, those were the headlines, and this was Breaking Down the News. For those of you out there who liked what you saw, please do click the like, subscribe, bell, notification icon, follow us, and subscribe on Twitch. It's the start of a brand new week, so put a smile on your face, and if I don't see you sooner, 8 a.m. tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Stop the stream. Ah.